Hello, my name is Ian Tweedy, and today I'm going to be talking you through what IT admins need to do to a Microsoft tenant in order to allow their users to join a shared channel hosted by another organization. Now, a shared channel functions just like a regular Teams channel. However, you do not have to switch organizations in order to access it. You can stay within your organization, you can scroll down, and you can see the channel just like any other channel. This means you can stay in your single organization's environment without the annoyance of switching organizations. Let me show you how we do that. And the first thing you need to do is you need to be an IT admin to do this, and you need to have permissions at the tenant level. So if we scroll down and click on external identities, and we're in the entra.microsoft.com portal here, and then we're going to click on cross-tenant settings. Now, you may have your default settings set to allow B2B Direct Connect for everyone, for the whole of for all Microsoft tenants, for both inbound and outbound. However, if you don't, we can set a setting targeted at a particular organization. Now, the organization I'm going to target is my regular tenant. You can see it's found that. If your tenant hasn't already previously been added, then you will need to add the tenant at that point. But all you need is the domain name of that tenant. So my tenant is tweet.technology. Your tenant may be google.com or whatever.com. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to click on inbound access, and we're going to choose B2B Direct Connect. The next thing we're going to choose is customize settings, and we're going to say we're going to allow access. Now, at this point, you're allowing access for all people in Tweet.technology users and groups to this particular setting. And we're going to allow all applications. Now, this doesn't mean that everyone inside that organization can instantly access your applications. It means that applications that require B2B Direct Connect are able to connect, things like Microsoft Teams. Now we've completed that, we're going to close that screen down. The next screen we're going to click on is outbound access, and we're going to do the same here again. B2B Direct Connect, customize settings, allow. Now, this is the name of my tenant, but you can restrict this to a particular group of people in your tenant should you wish. And we're going to click on external applications and press on allow as well. Then we're going to press on save. Then we're going to get this warning message up that says, once we do this, our users, their information will be accessible to that tenant. And this is really the question about trust. Are you trusting that tenant? Now, the information is very minimal. It's certainly not things like their date of birth, and you know, there's usually no reason to store information as sensitive as that inside the Microsoft tenant itself, as in the Entra directory. But this is things like your email address, your first name, your last name, and your busy availability status. So for this, I'm going to press on yes. We have now created our connection with our tenant. We need to check two more settings. So if we come across into the Teams Admin Center, admin.teams.microsoft.com, and we come down to users and we click on external access. We need to choose a setting here, Teams and Skype for business users in external organizations, to which domains we're trusting. Now, in this particular example, we're going to tick on all external domains, and most people have that selected by default. However, you may want to restrict it so your users can only talk to specific external domains. But choice is entirely yours. All external domains is what we're choosing today. The next place we need to come is across into Teams policies. So this is accessible under Teams and then Teams policies. And your users who want to access this shared Teams channel, you may have them with a custom policy, or you may have an organizational-wide policy. 9 times out of 10, I see organizations with a single policy because it makes life just a lot easier. But we're going to click on this global org-wide policy, And then we just want to make sure this join external shared channels is enabled. With that enabled, that's all the settings we need to change. The next thing we need to do is wait a number of hours. In my experience, it's usually best to wait a whole day, but the choice is entirely yours. So the allotted amount of time has now passed, and we're now ready for our user to be added to the shared team. Now your user will go through and be added through probably an access package or by someone actually directly inviting them. But let me go ahead and take you through a process that the end user will experience. So we're in our demo environment here, and we've got our user. Now I'm just going to copy this email address across, and I'm going to pop this into my other tenant. Now this process is something that you're joining, so someone else is going to be inviting you in. And let's add our user to this shared channel. And as soon as they're added to a shared channel, you can see that they were notified that they're added to a shared channel. They click on activity, they can see they get a permissions request to come up. Now, this is just to tell the user that this particular tenant, in my case, shared channel is owned by TweetTech, that this particular tenant will be able to access my information, and I just need to accept that. Once accepted, go to my chats, I can see I've got, alongside my other teams, I've got a new team that's come here, and it's with @tweed.technology. So that tells me that that's a shared channel inside this team, and that team actually lives in the Tweed Technology tenant. It doesn't live in my Microsoft environment. And then the user can click on the shared channel, and they can create a post. They can even be replied to. And they can @ people. Thank you very much for watching this video on how to join a shared channel hosted by another organization. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask.